Today we are reviewing The Sixth Sense. You'll need all 5 of your senses to enjoy this episode thoroughly.
But not the 6, because there's no dead people.
That we know of.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Little taste.
David.
Bryce went dark.
Pretty thick.
Great.
Oh, there.
A lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo being pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Hello, everybody. My name is Max.
And my name is Bryce.
And we are Horror Movie Talk. We're a silly and opinionated horror movie review show. New releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Don't expect a full recap, but strap in for some hot takes as we dive into what we liked and hated about the movie. Make sure you rate and review anywhere you're listening. Check out horrormovietalk.com to find links to our socials or call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail. That's going to pay off because we are listening to our voicemails today. We've got a great show for you today.
We should mention we have a live studio audience today.
That's true. We've had a live studio audience set up for like a month now. Today is the first day we have people in that audience.
Right. So, well, thank you for coming, Mandy.
We've got a great show for you today. Like I said, we will be reviewing The Sixth Sense. We start out by giving a spoiler-free synopsis and review. And after we give our score, we'll jump into the spoiler section. At the end of the episode, we will be listening to our voicemails. The Sixth Sense. Now, bear with me, Bryce, because The Sixth Sense, the name is to refer to, we have 5 senses, and the 6th is seeing ghosts, apparently.
Uh-huh.
But
Your sense of ghost.
But, your sense of ghosts, maybe, because he hears the ghost, too. So would that be the 7th sense? And do we know if he can taste the ghosts?
And the ghosts touch him, which would be like at least 8 or 9 senses. But I think you just group them all together into the sense of ghost.
The sense of ghost.
Ghost sense.
Okay. Do you have ghost sense?
I do not have ghost sense.
I don't either. I feel like, when babies are born and like the placenta is covering their eyes, they say you're born with the 6th sense.
Is that what they say?
I think that's what they say.
Okay. Well, maybe it's given to people whose mothers eat the placenta.
I feel like it would be given
the 6th sense gets given to them through the mother's milk.
I mean, that could make sense. I feel like if you were to eat placenta, that would be giving you the 6th sense.
Well, it's probably both, but it's communicated through breast milk. That's why a lot of like very, granola people have the 6th sense, and conservative
because they drink breast milk till they're 5.
Yeah.
How long did you drink breast milk?
Until I was like 5.
Mm-hmm. Long time.
No, I don't know. I don't even know if I breastfed, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know either. We should probably find that out. That's important information. Mm-hmm. The Sixth Sense can be streamed on Hulu or Disney Plus with a subscription. Disney Plus owns Hulu, so it's basically the same thing. Bruce Willis plays a well-respected child psychiatrist named Malcom living in Philadelphia. After a disgruntled old patient breaks into his home to confront him for his failure to cure him, Malcolm's life of success comes crashing down around him. As he tries to pick up the pieces, he takes on a new client, Cole, an isolated child who claims to see the spirits of dead people. Through helping this child, Malcom slowly starts to learn more about himself. The Sixth Sense is one of my favorite movies directed by M. Night Shyamalan of all time. While the movie centers around paranormal activity.
In what order is that? Is it your favorite movie of all time or your favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie of all time?
My favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie of all time. Well, I would say it's one of, because The Village is really high on that list for me. I really like The Village. What about you?
Okay. I would put this pretty high. I mean, maybe not my top 10, but I mean, it's a pretty formative movie. This came out in the time where I was just really getting into seeing all the movies, and this one was one that blew me away when I watched it in the theater.
Yeah. Man, you got to watch it in the theater. You're so old. This came out when I was born.
I was thinking, like, yeah, you're younger than Haley Joel Osment. Like, you couldn't even gone and see it when.
Yeah, this kid would have been a big kid to me.
Yeah.
While the movie centers around paranormal activity and Cole's connection to the afterlife, it really feels more like a drama than a horror movie. The characters are compelling and feel real, and the acting is knocked out of the park by Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment, and Toni Collette. Willis and Osment are truly the perfect duo for the film, and their interactions feel heartfelt and at sometimes even tear-jerking. Though I didn't find myself crying on this watch, the movie has had a profound impact on me on several other occasions. And when I was a kid, it was one of the first horror movies I'd ever watched and stuck with me ever since. I don't really have anything I can say bad about this movie. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I think this is probably the best M. Night Shyamalan movie in terms of writing and directing. And I just always go back to it and it's like, man, what is missing on the other movies that this one just got so well? And I think he just had a lot more restraint on this one in showing, not telling a lot of stuff. If you compare a lot of latter M. Night Shyamalan movies, there's pretty egregious exposition dialogue in later ones where I think he's just not taking the time to like think it out. And I don't know. I mean, it just, this one is just so much more subtle than other M. Night Shyamalan movies.
The dialogue is pretty impressive because, like you said, in other movies, it might focus more on exposition and like trying to feed you what's happening. But this one, it's like more so trying to get you in the mind of the characters and feel their emotions. And almost all of the scenes have great moments of dialogue.
Yeah. And it might probably the major reason is that most of his other movies are pretty high concept. It requires some kind of explanation or some kind of like midpoint in the movie to say like, okay, this is what's going on. Whereas this one is pretty straightforward. And I think the twist requires him to carefully mold the dialogue to sell the twist at the end. So it just comes off more impressive on repeated viewings. I agree. Like, this is a super effective movie emotionally. I found myself tearing up at the end. Where it hit me is the relationship between the mother and the son, especially at the end, talking in the car. And it's like, I don't know, it really hit me pretty hard, surprising. This is one of those where I watched it on my phone because my son was on the TV. Don't criticize. I've seen this movie like 7 times, so it didn't require a lot of, attention. I've watched the movie several times with the director's, commentary and stuff. Like I'm well versed in The Sixth Sense, but even then, like, yeah, it still hit me. I found myself like really affected by the relationships in it and by the performances. It's also like, it's one of those things where the source material, the material is so good that it makes like even Bruce Willis look good. Bruce Willis is not a fantastic actor, and like he's able to, shine in this. Toni Collette's great. It's a pretty small part for her. And Haley Joel Osment, I regarded for the longest time, and I can't really identify anyone that unseats him, but this movie made me think that Haley Joel Osment is possibly the best child actor ever.
He's really good.
He was so good and so convincing as a real person. Before then, the biggest child actors were like Macaulay Culkin, and there's a bit of, there's just like this side of child actors with this very Disney, like the Disney child actors, where it's like, I'm here to be cute and precocious, and I've got my bowl cut, and so any kind of serious material is undercut by that. And Haley Joel Osment in this just felt like a real little boy going through something. Well,
speaking of his performance, I was looking up some of the trivia of this movie, and it was pretty funny because he was obviously the best pick for the job. Did you know that Michael Cera tried out for the spot of coal?
Oh, I see ghosts.
This is what he did. Apparently, he didn't read through the script. He just read the scene that he was reading for, and then went in and played it like super happy-go-lucky and like not brooding at all. And he said, looking back on it, he's like, yeah, that was not right for the thing, obviously. Right. And Haley Joel Osment came in and was, first of all, wearing a dress shirt and a tie, said he had read the script 3 times all the way through that night, and like gave an amazing performance. And so he was a perfect pick.
Yeah. I imagine most of the auditions were like Michael Cera. It's probably like, again, a lot of these kids are just like coached by their parents to be like, you got to be the cutest one, the funniest one, and the most precocious. And yeah. So who knows? But that would be what my guess is. I really liked Haley Joel Osment. Most of the movies after this, it's not like I watched it, and I was kind of old to be watching most of Haley Joel Osment's movies after this, but I've always rooted for him. He had a big, kind of blank spot, but you see him pop up around every once in a while in comedy stuff.
Yeah, you might recognize him from Tusk.
Was he in Tusk?
I think he's in Tusk. I think he's the friend of the main guy. They have the podcast.
Okay. The most recent thing that I really liked him in was Silicon Valley. He played like a billionaire character, investor. It was pretty good. But yeah, no, this is a great movie. Sixth Sense is like a must-see. It's probably top 3, if not top spot for PG-13 horror movies that you can watch with your kids. This was the entry point that I used for my daughter to come into horror movies, and she really liked it. So highly recommend. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it.
And what's your score?
10 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah, there really is nothing bad you could say about it. It's just that good. Alrighty, if you are listening to these commercials, you should know that you don't have to. If you want to support us and get some nice perks out of it, go to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. There you can get early access to episodes. You can get bonus episodes, bonus content. You can also join the live studio audience when we record so that you can hang out and listen to us talk and hear all the stuff that we have to cut out because we fumble over our words or say something mildly inappropriate that needs to be cut out.
Yeah, you get to sit in on the recording when we drop all the N-bombs.
The N-bomb. We don't drop N-bombs. We don't do that.
That you know of.
Also, if you want some cool merch for the holiday season, go to horrormovietalk.com/shop. There you can get t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and galore. Also, check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who does all the artwork for the show every single week. He has done over 300 pictures for us, thumbnails, and he also has his own project that he's been doing called Forayan. So you can go to Instagram and find him there. We tag Forayan in his artwork that he does for us, so you can find it there really easily. Also, his regular Instagram is just at DGOEBEL00. We also have a voicemail, 682-253-4468, that we're going to be listening to today. So it's going to be needed to be refilled. So call in, and we'll see if we get through them all today. I don't know how many we have, but I think we have quite a bit. So thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers. So Bryce, tell me a little bit about the first time you watched this movie. You saw it in theaters. It was in 1999, so you were what, 36?
Yeah, so I was 17 at the time. Yeah, 99 was a fantastic year for movies. Like if you let me look it up.
This was the second highest grossing movie.
Yeah, this was like, let me see, like Eyes Wide Shut came out.
The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace, Talented Mr. Ripley, Virgin Suicides. Okay, well, some of these aren't. Maybe I was thinking of 98. But like right around this time, like 98, 99, 2000 was like just a formative time for my movie appreciation. So like Fight Club, Memento, Requiem for a Dream, Magnolia, like all came out around this time. And Sixth Sense was one of those that just was at the top of the heap for me of like, this is what you can do with movies. It was amazing. And the impact of the twist at the end was so strong. And like, I get so eye rolly when people are like, oh, well, yeah, I knew immediately. It's like, yeah, you probably didn't unless you knew there was a twist. I think when you go in knowing there's a twist, like, yeah, you could probably figure it out. But he doesn't, he protects that secret so well through this movie. Oh, The Matrix. Oh, no. Yeah. Fight Club and The Matrix came out in 99. So yeah, I mean, this is a great year for movies, and Sixth Sense was fantastic. I don't remember much. I mean, what was it, 26 years ago? So I don't remember much about the specific theatrical experience, but I remember, you know, this was also M. Night Shyamalan's first movie, and me and my friends were like, this guy's amazing. We have to see everything that this guy does. And for a couple of years, he kind of delivered on it. And I loved M. Night Shyamalan extremely, and then it fell off pretty quickly.
Are there any M. Night Shyamalan movies that you haven't seen?
Yeah, I haven't seen The Girl in the Water, whatever one that one's called.
Lady in the Water, maybe?
Lady in the Water. And some of the more recent ones.
Have you seen The Visit?
Yeah, we reviewed that one.
You did?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't remember that. Yeah. I like that one.
Let me see. Yeah, I think I've actually seen most of them. Where's the list? Okay. I didn't see Wide Awake or Praying with Anger.
I haven't seen those either.
Wide Awake is starring Rosie O'Donnell. Let's see.
You haven't done The Visit.
We did,
No,
didn't we?
no. I just looked
maybe
it
I just
up.
watched it. Oh well, maybe I just watched it that one Halloween where I watched a bunch of movies. Okay, I haven't seen The Last Airbender, After Earth.
You gotta watch The Last Airbender, dude. It may be the worst movie of all time.
Yeah, I think I've seen everything else. So I've seen almost all of his stuff. So I mean, maybe it's. I mean, it's easy to shit on him. It's not. His movies aren't terrible, but I mean, comparing Trap or Old to this movie is like, this is made by the same guy. It just feels like kind of a precautionary tale for, directors of like, give yourself time and pick good projects, But the thing about M. Night Shyamalan and the reason why he keeps being able to make movies is like, he always comes up on time, under budget. So I think that's like actually his secret sauce for his longevity. Not necessarily like huge box office performance, but comes in under budget and it makes money.
Yeah.
Oh, I still haven't seen Knock at the Cabin either.
Knock at the Cabin was meh. I'm not kidding when I say The Last Airbender might be the worst movie of all time. I think that's objectively fact.
Did you watch the cartoon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the beef everyone has with it if they watched the cartoon, but I never consumed
it's the movie
so.
itself. It's quite astonishingly bad. In fact, I think you need to watch it. We're holding it kind of close to the chest ourselves, but should we just talk about what the twist is so that we can kind of everyone should
26
know.
years old.
Yeah.
Everyone should know that the Sixth Sense, that the twist is Bruce Willis is dead, that he's actually a ghost.
Mm-hmm. Which when you know that and you watch the movie, it seems obvious, but when you don't know that, it never crosses your mind. It just doesn't.
This is the impressive thing to me rewatching it is that Shyamalan uses movie grammar to great effect, where it's like the whole thing where, you don't shoot a guy when he arrives at a house as like he pulls up, turns off his car, opens the door, unbuckles, gets out of the car, and walks up to the front door. You show a car pulling up and then someone knocking on the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, and your mind fills in the rest. And so there's so many moments where it's your mind fills in the rest. Every time he touches that doorknob and then reaches for his pocket and then it just cuts to something else. He's just somewhere else,
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that where it's like, you ask yourself the question of like, is that how Bruce Willis is experiencing the afterlife? Is that he just is different places, suddenly at different times. So there's a lot of moments like that and a lot of like interactions. There's a comedian that has a bit of like, you want to know how I can't remember what the setup was, but he was like, he's just basically talking about communication in marriage of like, it's so believable that a guy would just his wife would just not talk to him for like a year and just go about his business. Like, we just didn't even give it a second thought or think that was weird, because that's, at a certain point in marriage, like, there's enough, shorthand and enough like knowledge that you're like, you don't need to talk. We're just, going to eat dinner together.
Well, there is an element of it that does feel a little bizarre, because they are like very much in love in the opening scene, and then he gets shot. And then every scene after that we see, it's like ignoring him, not talking to him, being cold to him. And there's a part of me, I think when I first watched this, I was like, is she mad at him for being shot? Like, I don't know what's happening here. I was young when I watched it first, but it kind of makes you, it's trying to say like, oh, she's mad at him for diving deeper into his work after it almost got him killed. when she's right there and he's not paying attention to her, which he wasn't paying attention to her in the beginning. She says, like, you've always put me second and your work first, and I love you for it. Like, it's a bizarre relationship they have, but then we're almost made to feel like it's flipped after that moment.
Yeah. I found the clip. It's actually Nate Bargatze that has the bit on it. I won't play it here because we'll get flagged, but maybe I'll play it on the afterpod.
All right. I can't play anything because my drops disconnected from the show, so no drops for me today.
Oh, shit.
No, that's what I was waiting for. You said the S word. Gosh dang it. So, he basically, an old patient he breaks into his house with a gun and shoots him for failing to cure him. And then it cuts to a few months later, and he's beginning work with Cole, a 9-year-old boy who is...
So wait, before we move on, did you know who that guy was that shoots him? Vincent Gray, who played Vincent Gray?
He looked like that character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That was actually Donnie Wahlberg. Probably means absolutely
Donnie
nothing
Wahlberg?
to you. Donnie Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg's brother.
Oh.
But most notably to people that grew up in the 90s and had a teenage sister, he was one of the new kids on the block.
Oh,
that was what I knew him from.
That's actually crazy.
Was New Kids on the Block.
I guess Mark.
He was the tough guy on New Kids on the Block. You know.
Oh yeah.
He was the one that gave credence to their hit single "Hangin' Tough."
I love that song
because Donnie Wahlberg could sell it. All those other preppy boys weren't convincing, but
I hate to say
Donnie Wahlberg. I don't think I think he might have rapped on some of the stuff, but his brother was mostly the rapper.
That's really funny. I'll have to go back and, man, poor Donnie Wahlberg. Mark really got all the handsome genes, didn't he?
I mean, Donnie Wahlberg isn't bad. He's been on TV shows. He was in, wasn't he on some kind of, Boston Blue is a new one. Blue Bloods he was on for 293 episodes. So
I mean this is the only thing I've seen him in, and they make him look insane.
Right. He was super, super scrawny.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing in this movie. Like he was like he's similar to kind of Mark Wahlberg's build. He was a beefy dude.
He's a Gollum type in this.
Yeah, he did great. Unrecognizable. That's the other thing. It's like, did not look like Donnie Wahlberg if you've ever seen Donnie Wahlberg.
You must have been a huge New Kids on the Block fan.
Bruh. Yeah, you didn't have a teenage sister, did you?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever grow up with an older teenage sister?
No, I'm the oldest. I have a teenage sister right now, but I haven't lived with her in a long time.
Yeah, I had an older sister that she was the closest in age to me. She was 3 years older. And so, yeah, I would be inundated on like all of her cultural things, like New Kids on the Block, like all the movies that she would watch, I would watch. So like, John Hughes, Molly Ringwald movies, 16 Candles, Can't Buy Me Love, Princess Bride. Princess Bride is pretty universal, but yeah, I was the little brother that would try to sneak into her sleepovers and be one of the girls, and she did not super appreciate that, but she was amenable sometimes. I remember one time I, wanted to be around her sleepover, and then they were playing Truth or Dare and dared me to put an ice cube down my pants. Oh, and that really hurt my balls, and I cried and went to Mom, and she got scolded.
You got your balls hurt at a slumber party?
Well, yeah, I put ice down my pants, and it was really, really cold. Now that I think of it, I there must have been a time element to it because
how long was ice in your pants?
Why did I leave it? Yeah, why did I leave it in there?
Just
for so
numbing
long?
your nuts.
But I have 3 kids, so no damage done. We're fine on that.
Thank goodness, dude. Who knows what could have happened?
But yeah, I mean, I was well versed in New Kids on the Block when I was younger. There was Donnie, there was Jordan, there was Joey, there was. I can't think. Those are all the ones I can remember.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my drops back. I know.
I can see you intensely looking at your screen, trying to get your drops up.
You said the S word.
There we go.
I know. Sorry.
Wait. Okay, yeah, okay. It's working. It's working. I just needed to make sure. That was important to me. I spent a lot of time finding that drop.
Danny's the other one. And Jonathan.
Hey.
So there's Jonathan, Jordan, Joey, Donnie, and Danny. So
see, this is why you are able to name actors and actresses and directors and stuff, is because you grew up memorizing the names of boy band members.
Or I've just lived a long time and I have a good memory.
Like an elephant.
All right.
Call
each other names. Is that a fat joke?
No, it's a compliment. You're terrified of mice and you have a good memory.
Again.
I lost the drops again? Great. Well, whatever. It's too far gone. So we get to meet Cole. He's this isolated, socially awkward kid who hangs out in a cathedral a lot. And what we're supposed to get out of their encounter is that Malcom really sees his old patient in this kid.
Mm-hmm.
They remind him of each other, and he thinks that if he can help Cole, that he can somehow, fix the damage that he's done with his past.
It never really explicitly says. Bruce Willis, his character says, he basically failed Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
It never says how he failed him.
Kind of. He says that he...
is it really... this is the thing. Like, Vincent shows up and he was a full-grown man
mm-hmm.
breaking into his house. And so it's implied that he was a patient like a decade ago.
Or more, yeah.
Or more. He was a patient when he was a kid. And in what world are you held accountable for your failures as a psychologist? When you didn't do a good enough job 10 years ago, I guess. Yeah. I guess with modern eyes, you view this and it's like, you kind of fill it in. It's like, okay, he was, yeah, I don't know. It feels like it was a stand-in for, there was some kind of molestation or some kind of horrible thing that was happening that Bruce Willis didn't catch or didn't report or something. Or didn't take seriously enough.
I guess that's possible, but I think what they say in the movie is that Bruce Willis diagnosed him with acute stress because of his parents' divorce. Mm-hmm. And that diagnosis was obviously wrong. He was seeing dead people. So he failed him in the sense that he brushed him off as just I know what your problem is. It's just this simple, your parents got divorced, so you're sad. When he really needed more, which not really his fault. The kid was seeing ghosts, right. But
right.
I don't know.
And also, if you're disturbed enough to break into someone's house and shoot him in the gut, you've got more problems than just having a ghost sense.
You don't think the ghost sense makes you have problems?
It probably contributes to existing mental health problems, I don't know. That's a good question. If you could hear and see ghosts, if you had the sixth sense, how would you know if you also have schizophrenia?
Right. Well, my thing is... That's a
movie. That's a movie right there that you're a kid psychic that should be the sequel to The Sixth Sense. Haley Joel Osment's character, you know, has developed the sixth sense and like knows that he's helping people and grows into well-adjusted guy. But also in his early 20s, he develops schizophrenia.
That's got to mess him up.
Like, how would you know? And what would you do?
Well,
like,
see,
what damage would that do?
I think the way
You'd
I
just like
see
all
it,
of a sudden be like, you know, I start telling people that, you know, go check their cupboards because their dead, you know, daughter told me to tell them to check their cupboards, and they go and check them and there's nothing there anymore. Like, am I just getting trolled by dead people now? Like, what's going on? It's like, no, you're actually just schizophrenic and you're just making that stuff up in your mind.
see, the way I see it is if I could see dead people and I went upstairs and there was just people in my house that I did not know, I'd lose my mind. I don't want random people in my house at all times.
Yeah. I would just masturbate furiously and keep eye contact, you know. Just make it awkward for them.
Do ghosts feel awkward? I think, I don't know what they feel. Could you weird out a ghost, or would they just be like, they'd match your freak?
Maybe you just start masturbating and then the ghosts would start tweaking their own nipples. You know, they're like, yeah.
I'm done with this. I need to leave now. Yeah, I couldn't hang.
Or how many ghosts that, I mean, you'd probably not want to do the masturbation trick around ghosts that died of erotic asphyxiation. Like, but for the ones that like died of poisoning or, you know, fell down a flight of stairs, like you could awkward them out and be like, "Ooh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to be interrupting. Like, I'll go. I'll come back later."
How different would this movie be if instead of Malcolm's ghost coming to Cole, he starts just seeing the guy who shot him? It's just crazy schizophrenic ghost following him around for the whole movie.
Or they just show up at the same time and it's just really awkward. Just like, yeah, Vincent, not a good time. I had an appointment with Dr. Malcom. So yeah.
Can ghosts
well,
diddle
no,
kids?
because Malcolm couldn't see the other ghosts. So
right, yeah. That's true. I don't know. I don't know. Why can't he see other ghosts? He says he can only see what he wants to see, right? So he doesn't want to break the illusion that he is living.
Yeah. He says the line is like, they only see what they want to see.
Mm-hmm. Does this movie have the most quotable line of all time?
Of I see dead people?
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. I mean, it's a great tagline, you know.
It is.
It's a great... Like that's, you know, I saw this interview of James Cameron talking about his movies, and I think probably one of the most marketable skills in Hollywood is to be able to summarize a movie in as few words as possible. And I think like hearing about James Cameron's pitches for his movies, like he's the master at that. And because you got to be able to have something that you can put in a trailer, and that's what people know can be marketed. And so the I see dead people line is like, oh, it's a kid that sees dead people. It's like, I'm on board. Let's see that movie. Mm-hmm. But James Cameron in this interview, like almost every great movie he's made, he's been able to distill it into like 3 or 4 words, which is impressive. Like his pitch for Aliens was he walked up to the chalkboard and wrote alien, and then he wrote an S on the end of it and then put down the chalk.
Yeah.
And they're like,
blown away.
I mean, well done, sir. Like that's all you need. And like what was his for Titanic, he had this like picture book with like a fold out page that had, the boats and the ship tilting down and the light's still on. And he just put that in front of a producer and said, that, but with Romeo and Juliet. It's like that. I mean, that is the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly the movie. And Aliens is Aliens because there's more than one alien.
Yeah.
Like, that is the movie. And it's like, that's such an impressive feat. So, like, yeah, I mean, when you see something that sticks with you, like I See Dead People, I think that's why, probably a huge part of why it's successful. It's like you can distill it down. And that's probably also a reason why a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's more high concept movies don't perform as well, just because, it's kind of cool.
Too long to...
It takes way too long to be like, okay, so they're visiting their elderly grandparents, but it's not their grandparents. It's like, it's close. I mean, it's not 4 words though.
So they're on a beach, and the beach is old. I mean, no, the beach makes them old, and
the beach makes them old, but it's an experiment to help.
But it's not really the beach. It's kind of more like the cove. The cove makes them old.
And, and then back earlier, it was like alien invasion,
Yeah.
Crop circles, from an alien invasion, or a superhero, but real. It's like, you can distill it down to, that. And where it starts veering off the trail is like a village, but it's actually modern times. It's like, okay, well, that's not 4 words, and so it's just not going to land as well.
I love The Village.
This is a good theory. We'll keep this going.
I can't...
Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, the lead up and, like, the different sessions between Malcom and Cole is great. And it's a really convincing building of a relationship between those two. Feels genuine, feels like Malcom would be a good doctor. He's a little awkward and corny, but that's what you would need as a child psychologist. And a lot of times, like, again, like in retrospect, all these sessions are super short. They're kind of like random where they're held. Like Malcom will appear, at the cathedral or in his house or at school, like that's not normal, for a child psychiatrist to be like, I'll just meet you wherever,
I feel like both of us have a unique perspective on like the work aspect of this because we're both going into counseling and social work. And it's like something that kept coming to my mind is like, how is he getting paid for this? Because he's having like 5-minute sessions with this kid, and the kids, they're barely even talking about things that are important sometimes. And I just... Yeah,
where's the evidence-based practice? Where's Malcolm's...
It takes them like 4 sessions for him to be like, we should set a goal.
Yeah, where's his intervention? Where's his evaluation,
Where are the Medicaid forms?
Right. It just doesn't... Yeah, because he comes in, and their first session, he's like, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to try to predict, and then, if I don't get it right, you can just walk away.
Gets it wrong.
And that lasts about 2 minutes, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're done.
That's hilarious to start a session and be like, I'm going to guess what you're thinking, and then guess wrong, and the kid just
I got
leaves.
You pegged, kid.
Yeah, so...
I'm going to try that. Once I'm in, private practice, I'm going to take at least one client and be like, listen, before you sit down, just stand by the door. Just stand over here.
Kid's like, can I please sit down?
I'm going to sit here. We're going to play a little game. It's going to be like some 30-year-old woman that's crying. Like, all right, let me guess. So you're recently divorced. Steps forward. And, you're worried about, whether you'll ever love again. Yeah, steps forward. And you're worried about whether you're too old to have kids. He steps away. Fuck.
And your dad never loved you. Just walks out.
Yeah, it's like, fuck. That'll be $30 copay.
Yeah, so that's all to say. I don't know if any of this is actually best practice for real counseling or anything like that, but it makes for a good movie.
From a clinician's perspective, what are Malcolm's interventions? There's only really one. There's like, find out what the ghosts want.
Yeah. And that takes the whole movie to come out.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes the whole movie, and it takes convincing the therapist that he's actually seeing ghosts to give him like an actual thing that he can do to try to improve his life.
And it takes getting over the hurdle of, I've got to drop this kid. He's too crazy. I got to drop him.
How do I help these kids?
It is wild to be like, I know the rationale is he wants to be there for his wife to repair his relationship with his wife, but
yeah,
can't you like go to your wife and be like, hey, I know I've been distant. Let me work with this kid for like a little bit longer. And then I promise I won't take any more clients for a while. Like, you're just going to drop this kid who's like coming to you crying. He's getting beat up all the time.
Well, that's the other thing is that he's neglecting his wife because of his one client that he spends 5 minutes a day with.
And the rest of the time he's just brooding in his office being like, this kid is so crazy.
He's listening to like 30 years of his career, like trying to like uncover like, oh man, what's going on with this kid? After this 3-minute session, I've got to uncover what's wrong with him. Like, I must go back to the tape. And that's where he uncovers it. Yeah, I mean, Malcolm, if you had actually spent like a full 30 to 45 minutes with Cole, maybe you could have gathered this information without having to spend,
right,
60 hours going through your old tapes to try to uncover it.
Well, maybe it's just ghost time. Like, he spends 5 minutes trying to get him to sit in a chair, and then he leaves, and then all of a sudden it cuts to like 2 weeks later and he's with him in the church,
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this is ghost logic, he's not realizing that.
Not only is it ghost logic, but it's movie logic, because if they were to sit down and have a real session, it would be really boring.
Right. That's true.
So he has gimmick sessions, which work really well for a movie. I love the penny trick. I want to point out that the scene that Michael Cera tried out for was the penny trick scene.
Oh, was
and
it?
He was just like, wow, nice. Penny. It's great magic. So, yeah, I mean, we've pretty much covered the majority of it. He uncovers that, yes, the kid does see ghosts, and he realizes that the person that he failed before was also seeing ghosts. And there's this through line of like, if I can help him, get over this. So he tells him to listen to the ghosts. He does. He listens to a little girl who's vomiting. That scene terrified me as a kid. Super scary. Yeah. And he's led to, okay, this is something that my wife and I were talking about when we were watching it, is they're led to a funeral of this dead girl. How crazy is it to just walk into a funeral of someone you don't know and just go up the stairs and start going in their rooms?
Funeral crashing. It's probably one of the easier things to crash, to be honest,
Yeah. I mean, out of the funerals that I've been to, I didn't know half the people there. So,
I mean, most funerals are pretty open door.
Yeah.
It's a thing you announce in the paper. Well, I guess you don't do that now.
I mean,
it's a general announcement that you throw out to the public of like, this person died. This is when the date is.
Bryce, were you a paper boy when you were a kid?
I was, actually, for a brief time, but only after I was 18, to be honest.
Oh,
like, I only
you were
did
a man,
like
a paper
after
man.
I graduated. I was a paper man. Yeah, it was like one of my first like actual jobs, It was a very or no, maybe maybe it was in the summer between like junior and senior year or something. Because I think eventually I had to like go back to school, and then my mom had to take it over for a couple months before I could cancel the contract or something.
Your mom had to deliver the paper? I hope she was getting the money.
Yeah, I think so. Or it was probably just like a couple weeks or something, like, you know.
Of daily paper or weekly paper?
You're an independent contractor. Yeah, it was for the Columbian, the local paper here in Vancouver. And yeah, it was a great gig for me at the time because I would stay up super duper late, you know, when I was a kid. And so during the summer times, I would have just insane hours. And both me and my friend Kevin would just stay up all night and then deliver papers and then like hang out after for a little bit and then go home and go to sleep.
That does sound like a great time as a kid.
8 a.m. or something. So it was a fun time because you had to wake up at like 4:30 or something to go get the papers so you could deliver them by, you know, 6 a.m. or something.
Man, I clocked you so hard. Little paperboy Bryce.
Yeah. No, I was driving a car at the time, so it wasn't that bad. I still think about my paper route. I mean, I live right next to where my paper route was. My paper route was like in the ghettoest part of Hazeldale.
Did you ever get the paper delivered to you by a little kid and you're like, hold on, let me tell you a story of a boy who used to run the papers?
They don't even deliver papers anymore. It's all through the mail now. Like they don't have.
Isn't that the most intuitive thing? Like, seems like it would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
To just drop. I don't know. Anyways, so they crashed the funeral. And yeah, that was just it just seems really awkward to me. But like you said, it's probably very easy to do, to just walk into someone's funeral and no one says anything because there's so many people and
you're a little kid. It's not like crazy to have a little kid fly under the radar,
right? Because they can't see Malcom, which would have been a lot weirder to see a grown man who you don't recognize walking up the stairs towards your daughter's room.
Right. True. Yeah.
So they find the secret, which is the mom was poisoning the daughter and keeping her sick, and then she died. And so they give this information through a videotape to the dad, and then the ghost is set free. Yeah. Which are ghosts only ghosts because it seems like all the ghosts were murdered. You know what I mean? Or died a horrific death. They never just meet a ghost who was
the
like...
logic around...
I was just old.
Yeah, I mean, usually the logic around ghosts is they have unfinished business. And so even Cole's grandmother, I don't think she was murdered.
Ah, you're right.
But she had unfinished business with her daughter.
I forgot about the grandma. And that's one of the best scenes, is the ending.
Yeah, it is.
Cole is in a car with his mom, and she's this whole time has been very supportive, but very like tired and frustrated with her son because he is, you know, to her view, lying to her and doing things he's not supposed to and getting in trouble. And so she's really worried about him. And he reveals that he sees dead people, and she doesn't believe him at first, but he gets to talking about her mom and things that he couldn't know that she had said. And they just start crying together, and it's such a beautiful moment of connection and realization there.
Yeah. Toni Collette does so good in this movie. For how little she's in it, it's a fully fledged, fully realized character of like, this is a very loving mother. She's working hard. She's frustrated. She's great in this.
Now I love Toni Collette. The only thing I will say that I found strange about her performance is I felt like she was slipping in and out of a Boston accent like all the time. Like she'd be talking regular and then super thick Boston accent for like a line.
I didn't notice it. I'm not really a stickler for accents. It doesn't usually bother me. Like slipping between just a regular American accent and, other accents. If it was like, I think if it's like any kind of British accent, or if it's like a British actor that slips into like a British accent again, that's a lot more noticeable for me. But yeah, if it's slipping from anything into just a regular American accent, it's not that bad. So stuff like Keanu Reeves and Dracula, it's like, yeah, I didn't really notice it, but if I pay attention, I'm like, oh yeah, he just sounds like Keanu Reeves. He sounds like a Californian, slipping out of an English accent most of the time.
Yeah. Should I get back into accents? Remember when I was learning to do accents? Should I bring the prospector back?
I would love it. I would love you to slip back into the accent.
Did you notice dead people?
Cockney, right?
That's the prospector.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just realized that girl that was thrown up. Did you know who that actress was?
No, but she looks familiar. Who is she?
That was a little Misha Barton.
I don't recognize the name, but I might recognize her face. Alicia Barton?
I don't. Misha.
Oh, Misha.
Mischa. So she's mostly known from The OC.
Maybe I don't know this person, actually.
Yeah, she's one of those people that I hear. It's like I put her in the same space as like reality stars, where I am inundated with their name and I have no idea who they are.
Right.
But I kind of recognize their face. Anyways.
So yeah, the ending is where we get the big reveal that we've been talking about this whole time, which is that Malcom is dead. And he realizes, because Cole, another really beautiful moment, Cole tells him to just talk to his wife while she's sleeping, because then she has to listen to you. And so he goes home and he does that. And like midway through telling her how he feels, he realizes that he's dead because his wedding ring drops to the floor. And then it goes through like a montage of showing what we've already seen, but like just a little bit wider view of how
gives more context to everything. Yeah, I mean the main part of this movie is the B storyline is that Bruce Willis's wife is having an emotional affair that's delving into like an actual affair right in front of his eyes, which is, horrific. But then you get the context of, no, she's mourning the death of her husband and she just has a coworker that's kind to her. And so she's starting to open up to love again. And so all of this, the entire context of the B storyline is laid out of like, oh yeah, she's never talked to him directly. The only line that you could be construed as talking to him is she says happy anniversary when she leaves the table at the restaurant. But other than that, she never talks to him, doesn't interact with him, and ignores him.
That restaurant scene is actually pretty hilarious, because from the perspective of Malcom, he's alive and really there.
Right.
And he is doing a terrible job on this very important date with his wife. Like, he comes in late, he sits down, he's like, oh, you wouldn't believe the day.
Wouldn't believe the day I've had. I'm sorry I'm late to our anniversary dinner.
Yeah. So that's the movie. It's really good. We both gave it a 10 out of 10. So if you haven't seen it, you need to. But I assume that most people listening to this have seen it. So yeah, check it out. And for like people who might enjoy it, I'd say it's really good entry horror for families. It's not too scary, and it's mainly focused on just the emotional aspect of the characters.
Yeah. It's not too scary, but it is scary. Like there are some scenes that are heightened for like little kids. Like they're going to be frightened of the scenes where Cole is frightened.
Yeah.
When he's locked in that under that storage bin or whatever it is at the top of the stairs, like when there's ghosts walking around in his house. It is scary. Like, it's done very well.
I couldn't sleep when I watched this the first time. I think I was like 9 or something like that. It was really scary for me. Alrighty, you ready to get into voicemails today?
Let's do it. Let's do horror movie whores.
Whores.
How many do we got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
I don't know if we're getting through all those, but we'll see.
So this goes back to November 13th, so it's been a while.
Only a couple months.
About a month's worth. Yeah. Here we go.
What's up, y'all? It's Troy from Florida. Max, you really need to give Sydney a chance with these questions for the name of the creature. You put on like all the old Frankenstein stuff. It would have been cool to mix in some like modern stuff, even though it wasn't necessarily a Frankenstein movie. Like, you could have thrown in like Van Helsing or even I, Frankenstein, which I know a lot of people don't like, but that's such like a softly good movie in my eyes. I don't know why I like it so much, but those would have been cool to throw into the game. I did just watch Frankenstein on Netflix. Thought it was alright. I gave it like a 6 out of 10. The movie was like shot incredibly well, and I love like the creature design for it. I just wish it would be. I wish they would do like a more, I guess, scary version of Frankenstein's monster. Everything's kind of already been done, and I kind of figured this one was going to pay a lot of respects to like previous work in the field and other movies that have been done in the past, but I was hoping for like a completely fresh take on it, and unfortunately it was just kind of the same old song and dance, very similar to the book, but which is cool too, but I just didn't really care for it too much. But I hope you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. Is that true, Bryce? Have I been giving you an edge in Name That Monster? By playing things from the 1950s?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100-year-old history in film with Frankenstein. So it's spanned from like the 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Like, there's the vast majority of, representation of Frankenstein is probably, been from the 30s to 70s.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was much of an edge. I think the comment of like, it didn't really do a new twist on Frankenstein. It's like, yeah, when they do a new twist on Frankenstein, it's usually terrible, It's like, so I, Frankenstein, and like, any kind of new twist is not going to be met with, the audience is loving it because it's usually going to be corny and dumb.
Yeah. I don't know. I think especially, I could, now that you mention it, it does make sense to vary the timeline of like the generations that I'm picking from to get to like a more wide variety when I play that game. But
I think you had recent stuff in it. You had like Mary Shelley's stuff in it.
Maybe. I don't remember. It's just something to think about. I liked Frankenstein. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. And I just liked the original story, and I liked that it stuck true to that. So yeah, no new twists for me, please. Just give me the old slop.
Yeah, if you want to like an example of what happens if you do a new twist on old stories, like look at Dracula 2000, and you tell me if like that was a success or not.
I haven't seen Dracula 2000.
Just saying. There's some people that love it, but I mean, on the surface, it's kind of dumb. Okay, that's a blank voicemail. Here's...
Hey guys, it's Troy from Florida. I'm listening to your Keeper review. Man, how the mighty have fallen. I haven't been able to trust Max since he liked the movie Possum, so that's fine. I used to always agree with scores with Sydney, but I don't know. I thought this movie was actually kind of solid, similar to Bryce. I thought it was like a 6 or a 7. It wasn't like anything new in genre or, making horror movies like super scary again. It was kind of like a mystery horror. But I thought the movie overall was pretty decent. But the last couple of reviews, I've been more leaning towards Bryce's scores overall comparative to your other two counterparts.
Amount of taste.
Hope there's some other bangers that sneak in this year. Maybe something spooky during Christmas will be cool. I hope to hear from you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Yeah, Keeper, I will defend my Keeper take. That movie was flawed fundamentally. It had the appearance of modernized, elevated horror style movie, but it just had nothing in substance. And I'll stand on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one that people would probably criticize in terms of like, it's a lot of style over substance. But if you like the style, it's not bad, It's the same thing with like How I Treat Blackcoat's Daughter, where it's like I think of that as the same thing, where it's like it's got the veneer of the elevated horror, but it's just boring to me.
Yeah,
and I could see the same take on Keeper because it's just a slow burn. I think a lot of like the hate about Keeper is just basically, what's his name? Osgood Perkins hate in general, because Osgood Perkins like gets so much love right now, and he's kind of, not a super consistent director.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with like how people treated M. Night Shyamalan. It's like came out with some bangers. Some of them people disagreed on, and then eventually the consensus was, are we tired of this guy?
Yeah.
Can we just start hating his movies now?
Listen, I liked Longlegs. I liked it a lot. Yeah. And The Monkey, looking back, is funny to remember, but it was a odd movie.
I was shocked that you guys didn't like The Monkey. I loved The Monkey. I thought The Monkey was
the
great.
ending. I thought the ending just got so over the top cheesy for me that I was just checked out. But looking back, I remember laughing during certain points of the movie and thinking that, the characters in the setup were enjoyable. It's just his evil twin brother was just too far for me.
See, I thought it was. I mean, how can you say like, well, the ending was too cheesy or like went too far when literally there's a scene of someone just exploding by jumping into a pool?
I mean, that's more like
set
Final
up as being pretty silly, goofy.
That's like
from
Final
the
Destination style. I don't know if that's the same as like having your evil twin brother. I'm drawing a blank on even what happens at the end. Actually, I just remember I thought it was too goofy.
It's like basically like an old school mad scientist setup where he's got some kind of. Oh, that's what I remember.
But then they have like a 10-second heart to heart, and then he changes his mind and isn't evil anymore. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it.
I think the concept of a monkey that kills you is funny.
Yeah. Where is it?
The monkey that likes killing our family. It's back.
Yeah, you know what? Looking back, maybe I took the movie more seriously than it was taking itself.
Right, exactly.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say that I love your show so much. I've been debating leaving a voice message because I didn't know if I would be able to from where I am. I'm in Belfast, Ireland. I don't know if there's any other Irish listeners, but I've been thinking to myself, am I the only person from Ireland listening to these guys? But I just wanted to let you know that I started a new job recently, and on one of my first shifts, I just finished watching The Long Walk, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to listen to some reviews on it. And Sydney and Max's show, like their episode, was the first one I came across. And that episode sent me through a rabbit hole of just all of your different episodes. I loved it so much, and I've been every single shift I've been working since I got that job. I've been listening to you guys, and I just want to say keep up what you're doing, because I think your show is the absolute best. I find it so fucking funny. It is the most, your show, I don't even know if you mean to do it most of the time, but it is hilarious, and I love your different takes on it, and I just think keep up what you're doing, because Horror Movie Talk is the best podcast ever. But yeah, love you guys. Bye.
Well, thank you so much. I don't think she left her name.
That was really sweet.
But thanks for listening. We do have listeners in Ireland. 0.7% of our audience is from Ireland.
I wonder how many people that is.
About 10% is in the UK. So,
well, yeah, that was really sweet to hear, and a newish listener too. The Long Walk wasn't that long ago. That was like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Well, it's a good thing I wasn't on that episode, because I hated The Long Walk.
Yeah, you did.
I probably would have turned her off from it.
Yeah, Bryce's take on The Long Walk was baffling to me, dude. You just see a bunch of dudes getting together, being bros and crying together, and Bryce is like, ew.
Pussy! Gay!
No, I really enjoyed that one.
I thought The Long Walk was good. You know, like it's got some solid bones, but there were just some really distracting things. Mark Hamill was terribly cast in that movie.
He's barely even in that movie, though.
I know, but it's so distracting. I mean, if that character's so important, the antagonist of like believable is like, hey, this all, powerful being, where everyone's like, okay, we'll just get in line with this despot. Like it's not believable with Mark Hamill for some reason for me. And then the kid that chewed gum, just like I just wanted to, I don't know, just strangle that kid. I'm like, stop doing that. This is the most insane, over the top portrayal of this character. Anyways.
I'm gonna come chewing gum to next episode.
Anyways, I was walking down the street. Like, it's like if you were to make a parody of like a terrible, like, Broadway audition, it would be that kid. That kid's behind. He's cast in the West Side Story as a background character, stacking boxes. Anyways.
Hello, it's me again. I just wanted to say another thing. First of all, my name is Reid. I didn't even say that in the first one. Also, I think you should do a podcast or an episode on As Above, So Below. I don't know if maybe Bryce and David did one way back. I didn't go that far, but I think you have talked about it before. But I think you should do that. If not, just a little recommendation. Anyway, again, bye.
Bye. What was the recommendation she said?
I didn't catch her name or the recommendation.
Uh-oh. Isn't there a transcript?
Bree? Yeah. It said my name is Reid. And you should do a podcast, Overnight Food.
Overnight Food.
Let's try this again. Let's see.
Hello, it's me again. I just wanted to say another thing. First of all, my name is Reid. I didn't even say that in the first one. Also, I think you should do a podcast or an episode on As Above, So Below. I don't know if maybe...
As Above, So Below. Yes, we did do As Above, So Below a long time ago. That was one of David's favorites. So, yeah, go back in the... Go on horrormovietalk.com and the episodes tab, and then just search for As Above, So Below. It should be on there. Yeah, love that movie. Yeah,
and sometimes the audio quality on the voicemails isn't very good. So if we didn't catch your name, we're sorry about that. Send us a message on like Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, because I don't want to, I want to keep talking to you and I don't want to not know your name.
It's either Bree or Reed or me. I don't know. It's something. Marie? Maybe it's Marie.
It could be.
I mean, Ireland.
Let's listen to it again, listening for Marie.
Yeah.
And David did one. Hello, it's me again. I just wanted to say another thing. First of all, my name is Reed. I didn't even say that in the first one. Also,
I don't think so.
I don't know. It seems like there is like some kind of consonant that we're not getting.
That's okay. Send us a message, please. You're so sweet and so nice, and we really appreciate your love for the show and calling in.
Yeah, sometimes the audio quality on the voicemail is equivalent to those videos of the piano talking. You ever see those videos where it has a piano like playing back a spectrum of audio? It's kind of, you can kind of hear the audio. That's what the voicemails sound like sometimes.
Hi, I'm Sydney's biggest fan. I'm from Virginia. I just listened to the Green Inferno episode and I didn't watch it and I skipped a couple episodes, so I immediately assumed that J.M. Brandt was Sydney and I was like, oh wow, nice voice progression, but it wasn't. It was a totally different guy, but cool. Either way, very nice episode, and I felt like Green Inferno was very apt for Thanksgiving since they are definitely feasting. Then I listened to the Thanksgiving episode right after from like a year ago when you guys were still trying out different hosts, and then the Exorcist with Sydney on her "Fuck me, please delete this one, I'm sorry" on his trial came, and it was a really good episode, and I'm so happy Sydney and Max are here. And Bryce, I don't think your personality was. I really like your personality. Cut that. Could just cut all of it. Oops, sorry, bye.
Been there. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I texted you over after we released Green Inferno, and I was like, thank goodness we released a movie about Indigenous people over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, especially one where they're just
probably not the
killers.
best representation, but we tried.
Yeah, I mean, that's the closest to like an actual themed holiday release that we've got. We haven't done any Christmas movies or Halloween movies this year.
We thought about it too late. We've just been been so much going on with horror movie talk, and we've just been not looking ahead enough. And so we should have done a Christmas one, and maybe we can do a late one, but we'll see.
Yeah, I did. I usually would make it a point of like spending October figuring out where we can slot in a Halloween movie, and December I always like doing Christmas horror movies, but this year I just didn't give a fuck. I came up with a great idea last minute yesterday evening, and I texted Max, and it was just too late, but I thought it would have been a great bit to review The Santa Claus as a body horror movie, because I was like walking out the door getting dinner for my family, and I heard Erin just trying to convince Colin to watch The Santa Claus with her, and she was describing the plot of the movie, and I just realized like that's actually a terrifying movie if you step back and think about it, of like, oh yeah, he kind of accidentally killed Santa Claus, and then his body slowly transformed into like this elf. It's literally like Tusk, but Santa Claus.
It's crazy lore in that movie that if you kill Santa Claus, you get to take over his kingdom.
Not only that, you become him.
Yeah.
How terrifying is it? Like, I thought about like, right from the experience of being an obese person my entire life, like there's a lot of like just body horror inherent in being obese, of just like the terror of growing out of your clothes as you're growing up, and like just the terror of not being able to do things that you used to. And I was thinking of like that, man, there's got to be a way to tell a story that like captures the feelings of just not being in control of your body and not like, and feeling kind of helpless. And literally, I just realized, like, oh, it's the Santa Claus. That's literally what that movie is like, just the helplessness of like, oh no, you're going to be this obese person. There's nothing, you just can't control it, because it's outside of your power.
But you trade skinniness for immortality.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess not, because you can be killed by...
I assume Santa doesn't age, though. Doesn't get older.
I guess. But yeah, the whole concept of, like, no, now you're in servitude to the holiday of Christmas.
I wouldn't call it in servitude. I mean, he's got a pretty good gig. He works one day out of the year. He literally has 100,000 slaves, something like that.
Right.
Gets to eat as many
but
cookies as he wants.
But he's also a slave. He's also a slave. Like, he doesn't have a choice.
No, he doesn't.
He couldn't not be Santa Claus. That would be an interesting take of like him trying to walk away from being Santa Claus and actually like, no, you must, like, and somehow he's like forced to be in the sleigh. He's like, oh God, no. I mean,
his skin melts into the sleigh so that he's like one with the sleigh now and he can't leave.
Right. Yeah. It's like, Steve Carell and, Bruce Almighty, just like that he's just being forced. He's being puppeted by the spirit of Christmas cheer to be Santa Claus.
I do love that in Bruce Almighty, he canonically has to have a beard. Like if he shaves it, it's immediately back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You want to hear a body horror story from my life?
Sure. So
I had like a ingrown hair on the back, like upper back. And I asked my wife, I was like, we have like tweezers and whatever. And I was like, will you just dig it out? Just dig it out. And she like tried for a second and she's like, I can't find it. I'm like getting blood everywhere. No, I don't want to do this. So then I went downstairs and looked in the mirror and just started hacking away because I was dead set on getting it. And I carved out probably like a penny size hole in my back. And it's just now healed. It took like a month to heal. And when I saw the penny sized hole, I got a little lightheaded.
So you're digging out an ingrown hair? That's what it was?
That's what I assumed it was. Just, little like spot on my back that was like bumpy. And I was like, I need to figure out this. So I just tore it out with tweezers.
Well, hopefully it's not melanoma.
Melanoma?
But maybe you cured yourself. Maybe you cut out the cancer before it.
That would be badass.
Came through. That would be awesome. All right, next call.
Hey, it's me, Beyond the Grave. I was just thinking about you, and so I put in a crock pot. I made a potato leek soup, and my friend got mad at me. Not mad at me. She said they wouldn't do that in restaurants, and I said, well, they probably would, because I left something in my Dutch oven out on the counter on the stove. I turned it off when I was done, and I left it overnight, and it's cold in this house, and I don't need to turn the heat on all the time anyway, so, you leave it on, and it cools off, and you pack your lunch in the morning. And so I did that with a leek soup, but I sealed it back up in the crock pot, and I put it in the fridge. So baby, I saw David was doing an episode, and I thought, oh, this is Beyond the Grave, by the way. I thought, oh, you know what would be nice? If me and David just sat under a blanket and just chit-chatted. Anyway, I'm alive. Haven't been watching that much stuff. I don't have any Wi-Fi, and that's a big topic of discussion amongst other people, not myself. but they don't like that. The people. Anyway, I have been seeing someone, and their name's also David, but
Didn't you mention your wife?
I haven't put two and two together, and it's not. They're not together. Me and David Day are not in a relationship. I don't know what's going on with that. We're not together. And I haven't even spoken to him, and he hasn't spoken to me. And I don't think we need to be together right now. We have too much going on, but I've seen someone else with the same name, and that's my business. So I don't even know why you would ask about that.
That was an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I think Beyond the Grave might have been into a couple glasses of something on that call.
Potato leek soup? Is that what he was
potato
making?
leek? Potato leek soup that he left out and put in the fridge, implying that there was a worry about, it having some kind of bacteria or something. I think technically that's not, probably not the smartest thing to do, but as long as you bring it to a boil, you'll probably kill off most stuff. And if there's not meat in it, it's probably a little less dangerous too.
Well, and he said his house is cold, so.
His house is cold, so. And he's dating David, not David.
Not David Day, but David.
Yeah. I'll pass on the request for sitting under a blanket with David. To be honest, I don't think he'll be amenable to that.
Hey guys, my name is Emo. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm a new fan of you guys' podcast. I just discovered it the other day. I'm just phoning in because I'm an indie writer myself, and I'm working on a book about the history of horror movies. And I was just wondering if you guys read a lot of books about horror films, and if you do you have any favorites or recommendations? Thanks.
That's definitely a good question for Bryce. I feel like you're more into that. I read a lot of horror books, but I don't read books about horror movies or like the film industry or anything.
No, I don't do a lot of reading about film. I've read a couple books about film. What was the one that was really interesting? It was the book about the production of Brian De Palma's Bonfire of the Vanities. And it's like, at the time, was the example of a catastrophe of a movie. Just a horrible, failed movie. And that's really interesting. Like, that was like genuinely highly recommended. I think it's called The Devil's Candy or something like that. Is that what it's called? Let me look it up. Yeah, The Devil's Candy, The Anatomy of a Hollywood Fiasco. Great read. But that's pretty much the only book on film that I've really read. I mostly stick to like commentaries or YouTube videos about film. But I've started getting into horror, the horror genre in fiction. I read a couple. Not super into it. I read what's it called? It's that one by Dan Simmons. Carrying Comfort. Read Carrying Comfort, and then I read recently. What was the book I read recently, Max?
Did we talk about it?
Tender as the Flesh.
Oh, Tender as the Flesh.
Read Tender as the Flesh recently. That was great.
I've been on a big Stephen King kick lately, so I read. In the past I've read The Shining, Green Mile, Doctor Sleep, and then recently I read It, Misery, and The Outsider.
Yeah, I've actually read a decent number of Stephen King novels in the past and in the past couple of years too. I love The Stand. But yeah, I think for the most part, I just like the adaptations better. I like consuming horror through movies or TV or whatever. We're going to do like a recording today talking about Welcome to Derry. I don't know what we're going to talk. It'll be some kind of bonus content on Patreon. I think we'll probably just put it to anyone that pays and then.
Oh, you think so? You don't want to do it on
I was thinking about doing it as a pretentious review, but I think it doesn't really fit as a pretentious review.
That's fine.
Like, I think we'll just throw it out as like kind of a Christmas bonus for patrons, but also price it really low for anyone that wants to. Like
$2 or something.
$2 or something, or $1. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, we're going to talk about Welcome to Derry. I really liked it. And I've been toying with the idea of reading the Dark Tower series because I've heard so many good things about it. That's like the one King series that everyone's like, this is the best thing he's done, and he landed the ending. So I'm actually kind of curious. I'm always hesitant to read fantasy giant epics because I don't necessarily want to invest like 7,000 pages into
the next 4 years of your life.
Right. But my wife has tried to get me into Brandon Sanderson, and I read the Mistborn series, the first trilogy. I'm like, yeah, that's good. I'm good. I don't need to read every 2,000 page novel that he puts out every 2 months. I get it. But yeah.
How many more we got?
Okay. We got 2 more.
Let's power through.
We're getting through it.
Hey guys, this is Tom from Texas. Last call I made in, which is a while ago. I'm catching up. I got some shade for getting the movie name wrong. So anyway, I was watching the review for Keeping, and I was thinking, you guys, if you consider adding like a part where you say how rewatchable the movie is, which brings up my next question. What is y'all's like most rewatched movie? Cool. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for keep pumping out the episodes. I'm excited to see the one with David Day coming back. I haven't gotten to it yet. All right. Anyway, bye.
I mean, without question, my most rewatched movie is Cars. Because I watch it every day with my daughter. So
yeah, I think it becomes a different thing if you have kids. Like in actuality, most rewatched movies, probably Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
My most rewatched movie of any genre, it's kind of hard. Because some of them, it's like it wasn't by choice. I think that my most rewatched movie in theaters was The Fifth Element. And I didn't even like that movie that much, but I went and saw it for myself. And then I went and saw it with like another friend that hadn't seen it. And then like a group of friends after we graduated wanted to go see a movie, and they all voted on The Fifth Element. I'm like, God damn it. It's not, when it's like a good movie, but not your favorite, it's a pretty brutal movie to watch several times in a row. I was thinking about this, like the movies that like I can't stop watching is probably like what I'd term this as like any Quentin Tarantino movie. If it was on cable or like it comes across and someone's watching it, those movies are like designed to be like, if you start watching it, you're going to finish it. I think comfort movies for me, Princess Bride. I was just talking with David how like much I love Punch Drunk Love. Like that is a supreme.
Wish
it's
I
one
could
of those
talk
movies
with
David. No. Speaking of horror movie talk drama, yeah, there's several movies where I come across and I'm like, is it time to do another watch of that movie? Like, I don't necessarily watch them, but I have to stop myself from always watching the same movies, which is like the ones that fall into that category for me are Punch Drunk Love, like Dances with Wolves for some reason, There Will Be Blood, like, No Country for Old Men. They're these movies. There's like, it's just a good time watching them. In terms of like the horror genre, I think my most rewatched movie, or the one that I look forward to rewatching most, is probably The Exorcist. Sixth Sense I've seen a lot. But yeah, I think those are. I think that's probably more information that you asked for. But
Yeah.
what are yours?
I'm not really into rewatching movies very often. I just would rather watch something that I haven't seen. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to actually watch movies first to rewatch them. That's your problem.
How about you lay off, because I have been doing 10 times better than I used to.
I know. You told me that you've been trying. You've gotten into the Marvel movies to try to...
I finally got around to watching Marvel movies, and you know what? I only have like 5 more left that I haven't seen, so I'm powering through. I started watching Captain Marvel the other day. Didn't really care for it. Watched about half of it. I'll probably finish it tonight or tomorrow, but...
What was your take on Black Panther?
I haven't seen Black Panther.
Yet? Okay.
I'm watching them out of order for everyone. I'm watching them in order of how interesting they look to me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. It's better if you watch them in order. But, I think my take on Marvel movies is they're surprisingly consistently pretty good for what they are. Like I was always surprised, except leading up to like Endgame. I think every single one of those movies is like, it's not bad. Like you can't say any of these movies are bad.
Yeah. And
even the ones that I didn't like that much are like, they're still not bad. They're still enjoyable. Like it's just very factory. They're like a factory of entertainment,
So I recently watched the Ant-Man movies. First 2 I really loved. I thought they were funny and fun. Third one, it was a slog. I did not like the third one.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the third one. That's kind of the consensus with the third one. It was like, wow, this is Marvel falling off a cliff at this point.
Yeah.
Most
watched horror movie would probably either be like Hereditary, Insidious, The Ring. Some of these like super classic ones that everyone loves, especially as a teenager. I watched them quite a bit, so.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, last call.
Hey guys, I'm just finishing up your Five Nights at Freddy's 2 episode. Seems like a real piece of shit. I definitely will not be watching this. But I really enjoyed your conversation about, first of all, the movie, TV shows you were watching at the end, and also the little discussion about AI and robots that was in the middle. Feels like there could have been a good movie in there somehow if it wasn't about stupid ass Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh yeah, I should say this is John calling from Buffalo, New York. I really just wanted to call and say I really like Max and Sid's content on Letterboxd. Really enjoy following you guys. Bryce, I know you're not on there, or at least I don't think you're on there, but I would love to get your thoughts and read whatever you have to say about movies that are coming out. And one last point I wanted to make, there was kind of like a discussion about how Netflix has taken over. It's unfortunate that all of the new Netflix films that are coming out are just like completely awful. Like I haven't seen a good Netflix horror movie in forever. And even the ones that I can remember were never, they were passable, but there hasn't been a really good one. I don't know, it's just this commoditization, this like commercial bullshit that's going on where it's like, let's just pump out, the most generic shit that will get the most eyes on it and franchises. It's super unfortunate. And then there's actually good, kind of interesting films that are struggling. Like Eddington came out. I mean, it wasn't the greatest movie, but at least the topic that's somewhat interesting is kind of a risk, and it fell right on its face. And I don't know. I don't know how to change that, but it feels like it's not going to lead to more good horror movies. Instead, we're going to get Five Nights at Freddy's fully loaded and a bunch of more bullshit. So it sucks. Hopefully we get something good out of this. I just don't see it happening. But yeah, I appreciate your guys' content. This is my first time calling. I've listened for like 5-6 years. Kept up with you guys. And, I love the show. Keep it going. All right. Thanks, guys.
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, Don.
I think people have been really enjoying lately when we not so much do tangents, but like spend a certain amount of time talking about a different topic and like being focused on it.
Yeah, like how we barely talked about the movie this episode.
We talked about the movie.
We talked about the movie. Yeah, I mean, the movie, the industry right now is weird and like has a lot of things going on that are affecting the quality. Like there's one where it's like, okay, everything that's actually being made is some kind of IP. There's not a lot of original content coming out. I mean, the horror genre is probably the one genre where it's still amenable to fresh ideas and they'll still make money. But even here, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was a huge piece of shit and it's probably going to be one of the most successful horror movies of the year just because it's valuable IP. And then like Netflix used to make movies that were events. You know, I think the last one I think of like of being significant culturally was probably the Bird Box, and that was forever ago. That's like when we started the podcast. I can't think of any significant horror movie released exclusively by Netflix that made a big impact or that people talk about.
A couple that come to mind, not as big as Bird Box, but maybe like His House.
Yeah.
1BR.
Was 1BR big?
I saw it when it came out and liked it, and maybe it was just big to me.
Yeah, I mean, His House is mentioned in some lists, and so that gets some love, but yeah,
The Invitation,
I mean,
maybe?
then, yeah, that was before Bird Box. I mean, they used to, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because it feels like for a time, they greenlit everything, and so it was just something would come out, it wouldn't get any, significant marketing or wouldn't be pushed to like the top 10 list or whatever. So just no one saw it. And so or like, for example, going through Amazon where it has like every D list, D horror movie on it. It's like, are you really going to wade through all this shit to find the diamond in the rough? It's like, no. And even as like a critic, I'm not interested in doing that. Like, I'm not interested in like being the curator of it. And I think the closest we get to is like, I feel that if something gets a theatrical release, that is a good enough filter for trash for me to kind of trust. And that's not always the case. I mean, definitely there's probably streaming movies that are better than, Wolfman. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to watch 200 movies that month that came out that month to find it. And so that's kind of a problem where it's like, they're going to greenlight a bunch of stuff that's like their algorithm tells them will work. But it's not like going to be anything super unique. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, again, like Netflix buying Warner Brothers is kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Another nail in the coffin for theaters.
We'll probably have to talk about that when we talk about our Welcome to Derry episode, because that might be affected by it. But thank you guys so much for calling in. We had a lot of really kind words there. A lot of interesting characters poke their head in. And we just appreciate you guys interacting with the show and enjoying it and listening to it. And we hope that we can continue to make good content for you guys. But we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is.
crackly wood. He had no face! Horror!
Wow, that didn't sound good.
The monkey that likes killing our family. It's back.